welcome to WEBN General News. I'm Meira Munro.
And I'm Emily Champagne. Let's get right into today's breaking news.
Former President Donald Trump is unable to find an insurance company to underwrite his $464 million bond in a civil fraud case. The bond is due by the end of the month. His attorneys have asked the appeals court to delay the bond posting until the appeal of the case is over, arguing that the value of Trump's properties is higher than the judgment. Underwriters only allow bonds to be backed by cash, not property, which has been an obstacle in obtaining the bond.
Vladimir Putin has won his 5th term in power as Russia's president.
There's nothing good in this. There's no silver lining for the next 6 years, assuming Putin lasts for 6 years, and I think he'll last politically. The only thing at the moment that limits him potentially would be matters of health.
Putin won in a landslide, collecting 87% of the vote. Most of Putin's opponents have either been exiled, imprisoned, or killed. Many Western countries, including the US, UK, and Ukraine, have called the latest Russian ballot as, quote, neither free nor fair. Thousands of Russians lining outside of the country lined up at Russian embassies to vote in protest of Putin.
San Diego police arrested 27-year-old Dejan Belnavis, who is the second suspect in the Worcester shooting. Chastity Nunez and her daughter Zella were shot and killed in a parked SUV. Belnavis is facing multiple charges, including armed assault and murder. The arrest was made after the U.S. Marshals Service doubled the reward in the search for Belnavis from $5,000 to $10,000. After his court appearance in San Diego on Friday, he will be extradited to Massachusetts to face charges. His court appearance in Worcester is yet to be scheduled.
The Massachusetts Senate passed a bill Thursday making child care more affordable. This bill would make early education accessible to all families, especially those who are financially unstable. The bill is also expected to create permanent grants that would provide child care providers with funds. This would increase compensation, keep necessary programs from closing their doors, and reduce high tuition costs.
Instagram has taken action regarding a controversial photo on Prince William and Princess Kate Middleton's profiles. The picture of Middleton smiling with her children was posted last Sunday. Multiple news outlets removed the photo due to suspicions of manipulation, but the photo remains on the royal couple's Instagram profile with a warning message regarding the altered nature of the picture. In a statement addressing the photo, Middleton admitted to editing the picture and apologized for any confusion it caused. For more about the latest news overseas, let's go to our international correspondent, Isabella Osgood. Isabella?
Thanks, Meira. Evidence of strong ties between North Korea and Russia expanded this weekend as Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un and his family enjoyed a gifted limousine from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kim received the luxury limousine in February after he was shown the vehicle in September during a summit in Russia. Kim's senior official and sister, Kim Yo-jong, says that the gift, quote, can be thoroughly trusted. According to ABC, the delivery violated a United Nations ban on the supply of luxury goods to North Korea in an attempt to pressure the country to end its nuclear weapons program. A suspected gas leak-related explosion has killed 2 and injured 26 others in Sanhe, China. The explosion started in a fried chicken shop, leaving 14 people hospitalized with 2 in serious condition. ABC says that more than 150 firefighters were on the scene controlling the fire. Most of the building was destroyed, leaving only the frame standing. Another Russian missile attack struck Odessa, Ukraine on Friday. After the initial strike, another missile targeted at first responders, or double tap, hit the city. These 2 attacks left at least 16 dead, including an emergency service worker and paramedic. 53 others were wounded. Attacks on Odessa, a city of around 1 million, have increased since the summer. These strikes often target infrastructure facilities needed for the export of goods. That's all we have for international news. Back to you at the desk.
Coming up, a verdict has been reached in the case regarding the 2021 Michigan school shooting.
And a look into a slightly warmer week ahead of us.
You budget. You pay bills.
Yet somehow, women like you, like me,
Are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2?
1% honors you.
and 1% honors all womankind.
So come on, learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost in. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's one thing that can count on to be free. If it's one place.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to WEBN General News.
James Crumbly and his wife, Jennifer Crumbly, have been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter over the 2021 Michigan school shooting.
You heard no testimony, and you saw no evidence that James had any knowledge that his son was a danger to anyone. We've heard about the journal. If James knew what was in that journal, the prosecution would have told you that.
They are the first parents to be charged for the deaths caused by a relative during a mass attack. The decision comes after the parents were unable to prevent their teenage son from killing 4 and wounding 7. Their charges are part of a national effort being made to hold parents responsible for enabling violence in their children. While the Crumbleys face a max of 15 years in prison, their son Ethan Crumbly has pleaded guilty and is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade resigned his post with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office on Friday.
I'll answer it like this with a question. If you were being charged with a crime that could land you in prison for a decade plus, and this was happening, would you feel like you were getting a fair shake? No, of course you wouldn't. And so I would be very disappointed if I were in the case.
In a letter to Fannie Willis, a district attorney with whom Wade had a romantic relationship, he stated he was stepping down in the interest of democracy. Willis will remain on the racketeering case related to the 2020 election results in Georgia against former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants. Trump's attorney, Steve Sadow, stated that he is using all legal options available to dismiss the case. A member of the United States Senate has called on Israel to hold new elections for prime minister. For more on that and the latest in politics, we now go to our political correspondent, Emma Siebold. Emma?
Thanks, Meira. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called for Israel to hold new elections. He criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a speech on the Senate floor Thursday. Schumer said Netanyahu was an obstacle to peace and a two-state solution. An increasing number of U.S. Democrats have pushed against Israel and called for more attention to humanitarian issues in Gaza. Schumer said Netanyahu's allowance of high civilian death tolls in Gaza has led to a drop in support for Israel. Senator Bernie Sanders proposed shortening the standard work week from 40 to 32 hours. Sanders said that Americans are working longer hours for less pay, despite advances in productivity. The 40-hour work week has been in effect since 1940. If passed, the proposed legislation would lower the work week over a 4-year period. The Senate is deliberating on a bill that would ban or force the sale of the app TikTok. The bill breezed through the House of Representatives just 8 days after it was proposed. U.S. lawmakers believe the app poses national security and privacy concerns. TikTok is used by over 100 million Americans, and many senators want to take negotiations slower than the House did. That's all for politics. Back to you at the desk.
Ghostbusters mixes past and present with the release of their newest film, Frozen Empire.
Getting to work with the OGs, this is kind of so mind-blowing to be a part of something that I've been watching my whole life that I'm so familiar with. But to get to kind of put on a flight suit and do it standing next to them, it's such a very overwhelming experience.
The Supernatural Streets welcome original cast members Annie Potts and Bill Murray after 40 years, as well as newcomers Paul Rudd and McKenna Grace. Ghostbusters has become one of the highest grossing films and continues to show its excellence throughout 4 films the franchise has released. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is set to hit theaters on March 22nd. So Meira, I know that the spring equinox is happening on Tuesday. Are you excited for the warm weather?
I know, I'm excited to be outside more this week.
For sure.
For more on this week's weather forecast, let's go to our weather correspondent, Averie Morren. Averie?
Thanks, Meira. We have a sunny week ahead of us, so prepare to see a brighter sky than we are used to here in Boston. And don't forget to bring your sunglasses with you. Monday was pretty warm with a high of 49, but Monday night, however, we will be seeing the temperature dip into the low 30s leading into tomorrow morning. Tuesday, we will see similar weather with a high of 45, but a bit more clouds, still sunny nonetheless. Wednesday will be the warmest day of the week with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 33. As we get closer to Thursday, we will see a drop down to a high of 41 degrees as well as some expected wind. And finally, on Friday, temperatures will stay relatively the same with a high of 43 degrees and a low of 24. Us Boston residents don't fear the cold, so keep your light jackets close and look forward to a great weekend ahead. That's all I have for weather this week. Back to you at the desk.
Coming up, an update on the new TikTok ban bill.
And what NFL quarterback is leaving New England?
After this, coming in on a 2. 45 seconds. If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to WEBN General News. The U.S. House of Representatives approved a bill on Wednesday requiring the Beijing-based company ByteDance to either sell TikTok or face a nationwide ban.
Look, I think it is something that we're going to have to do something about. The best approach would be if they were to divest and to allow for American ownership. If not, then we're probably going to have to eliminate it from the platforms.
In the face of increasing data security concerns, U.S. lawmakers want to ensure that personal data is not available internationally. Congressional mistrust of TikTok has been evident since the January 31st hearing when Singaporean TikTok CEO Xiaozi Chu was repeatedly asked about his ties to the Chinese Communist Party. The bill is set to be heard on the Senate floor next.
Quarterback Mac Jones is officially leaving New England.
He's one of my favorite kids all time. Something like that is, I guess, surprising for a lot of us, but that's just kind of the nature of the business.
In a recent off-season trade, Jones will be heading to the Jacksonville Jaguars. After being replaced by Bailey Zappi at the end of last season, this experience will be beneficial for Jones as he will have the opportunity to learn from quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Jones expressed his gratitude for his time with the New England Patriots in a post on X announcing his departure. That's all for today's stories. Thank you for joining us for WEBN General News. I'm Emily Champagne.
And I'm Meira Munro. For more, go to WEBN.TV or check out our Instagram at WEBN General News. We'll see you next time.